Sunlight fading on my skin, learning where to start again. The ocean washing over me, finally setting myself free. I'm letting go, let it bloom. No more looking back at you. Just the water, just the wind, where the healing can begin. Horizon, open space. I can slowly blur your face. I'm letting go, let it bloom. No more looking back at you. Just the water, just the wind, where the healing can begin. Just the wind.
What's up, friends? Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome in. Tap the screen, share the live, do all the good things, as Erica Shante would say. How's everyone doing this Saturday morning? I officially did it. I got my shit together a little bit this morning, and we posted the book poll. So the book poll is up. It's going to be open for 3 days. Make sure you guys go vote. I personally would love to read Wretched of the Earth. I don't know about y'all, I personally would love to read Wretched of the Earth by Frantz Fanon. Just say. The book poll is up. May the odds be ever in everyone's favor of the books that we choose. Okay. I do have to add a book in there. Jesse's been trying to get me to read it for a long time, and it's in my Hoopla saved books. I just never added it, so I need to add that to the Discord too. But what's up, friends? Happy Saturday. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to go live today because I woke up with no electricity. It was gone. I was like, well, and the only reason I realized that is because I slept with 2 fans on last night, and I woke up and they were both off. I was like, what the fuck? And then I went to turn my lamp on and that was off, and I was like, well, what the fuck is happening right now? And then I looked at my phone and I got a text message from uh, the electric company saying there's an outage in your area. I was like, well, fucking dandy. On book club, we got a fucking power outage. But luckily it's been resolved, so we're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah, that's right, Vanders. In other words, but you know, everyone may not want to read that, and that's fair. I would just, oh, good morning, Peach. I just saw you come in. In other words, you know, I would personally love to read Wretched of the Earth. I've been trying to get us to read that one for a minute. And I would love to read that, you know, just a suggestion. As our book poll is up, you know, just a suggestion. Doesn't mean everyone has to pick that book, you know. I would just personally love to read it. Good morning, Straw Baby. Just a suggestion. I'm waiting to bring Khadijah up because we don't have a lot of people in here. And we haven't even cleared out the first gift goal. So let's tap the screen, share the live, do all the things. Yeah. But it was one heck of a morning. One heck of a morning. Woke up with no electricity. I was like, oh, that's cute. I don't even know what happened for a power outage to happen, because normally we get power outages. If you know, you know. We get power outages if the wind blows the wrong way, but there is no wind outside right now. It's actually like just extremely fucking hot. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but it's back, and that's all that matters. How we doing, Twitch? How we doing? Who's excited for book club? I'm excited for book club. I'm actually emotionally preparing, because I told you guys talking about my island makes me extremely fucking emotional. And so this is gonna be a very emotional conversation for me. I get extremely emotional. Y'all saw me on Santana's live talking about it. I get really upset. So yeah. Actually, let me prepare. I need to get the wheel together. So guys, if you guys did not know, we have book club today at 2 o'clock CST in the Discord. And two really awesome things are gonna happen during book club today. So this is gonna be the biggest giveaway in book club so far. We're gonna give away 20 books thanks to Santana's chat. We're going to get, yay, Richard there. Hi, yes. What book we're reviewing together? War Against All Puerto Ricans. So we're gonna be talking about U.S. imperialism on my homeland, Puerto Rico. So I'm really excited for that conversation, because we don't talk about Puerto Rico enough. The history is completely erased. And in terms of current resistance movements, I would say Puerto Rico is one of our most recent socialist resistance movements, right? That happened not that long ago. Like, my grandmother was alive with Pedro Albizu Campos. Right? My grandmother was on the island during the Ponce Massacre. So it was not that long ago. So I really want us to talk about it. Oh, please DM me them, Black Cabinet. Please, please. I have some other books on Puerto Rican history, because I think, well, for me, Puerto Rican history is really important, because that's where my family's from. But yes, it's super important. We're going to review that today. Also, we need to also, like, in comparison, I would love for us, so guys, as we're talking about war against all Puerto Ricans, I'm gonna talk about that later during book club too. I've said this before on Santana's panel. I'm gonna say it again, and I want us to keep in mind it, because I'm gonna find us in Black Cabinet. If you don't have to, because this is labor, I'm so sorry. If you have any great books on the Haitian Revolution, because I think comparing how the United States handled the Puerto Rican resistance movement and the Haitian Revolution is really important to modern day resistance movements, right? There's a reason why the United States goes after and covers up resistance movements. There's literally reasons for that, right? They do not want you to fight back. And so if they cover up that these things are happening, then the people don't get ideas. It's literally what happened with the Haitian Revolution. Age and pronouns.
49 are the regular male pronouns he, him.
Great, no one asked about your
It's
sex.
just the regular.
No one asked about your sex. Pick a topic you disagree with.
Yeah, they're the same thing. There's the
No,
same thing.
give me a source on that.
Give you a source on what?
This is not that space. So for me, if you're going to make a claim that sex and gender are the same, I would love a peer-reviewed source on that says they're synonymous.
First of all, pronouns are words to describe the sex. We don't need a study on words and identify them to biological sex.
Source.
I don't need to do that because pronouns are words.
Everything is words, and words help us communicate. And
No,
so
male
those
is a word
words-
describing a sex.
Oh Lord, I need you to stop over talking. Right? If you're going to say sex and gender are the same, right? I'm not going to allow you on my space. This is like not any of those other spaces. I don't allow misinformation to spread. So if you're going to make a claim, right, and especially if we disagree with it, and I do disagree with that, I would like you to ground that.
I just want to recommend the Haitian book.
What's up, Peach?
Oh, not much. I just came to sit.
Okay.
Can I recommend this book?
No,
Can you shut up? My friend is talking to me. I just came to sit. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hanging out with Wallace.
Oh,
Chilling.
W. Wallace.
Yeah. Hey, everybody in the chat. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to go on mute.
You got it. You got it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to say anything else till I get a source on sex and gender the same.
I don't have a source on that. I
Okay,
don't need a source
so then
for that.
we're going to take whatever you said about that and we're going to throw that out the fucking window. It's bullshit.
You could
Okay,
as
Great.
you could
so now that we've done that, what I'm going to establish for you here is you're going to pick a topic, because I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to Black Cat.
Bitch, fuck your fucking pen.
I know. Big
I don't know the
feelings.
fuck.
Also,
Bitch, fuck.
I know. Crash out. Crash out. Also, I'd like to highlight. He ran before we can give him the prize for winning Bigot Bingo. Brr, 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 brr. He absolutely hit the fucking slur of the day. On Saturdays, we have 3 slurs that are gendered slurs that they can, so it gives them better chances of winning Bigot Bingo, and he won Bigot Bingo. Now, Brett, if you want to come up to win your fucking crash prize, you can come up and do that. But we have our first winner in a while of Bigot Bingo. W's. Also, just so you know, I'm that bitch.
You filthy
Okay.
fucking animal.
There you go. His prize was a free session of rejection therapy. Thank you for coming. Oh, beautiful. Chef's kiss. I love when you come back. W's. That was easy. Also, I'm pretty sure we have 3 words. Obviously, bitch was one of them. Yeah. Actually, no, I lied. He technically did not win. That bitch is not one of them. But you guys got such a look at what Big Bingo wins. I messed up. Bitch is one of our words. It's just not today's word. So there are 3 slurs. Because I get slurred so much that now we just turned it into something that we can find fun in. So there are 3 slurs on Saturday, just to give them better chances of winning Big at Bingo. Bitch was not one of them. It is one of the slurs, just not today's. Peach. Noah says he misses you.
I miss Noah too. Hi, Noah.
Wait, vey. So, sure. I don't care. If you have an issue with any of the prompts on the background, request up. You know, instead of complaining in the comments, request up. You know, just like, don't be an asshole and like crash the fuck out. You know, it's that simple. I already knew that Bretta was gonna crash out. It was gonna be that simple because he likes talking out his fucking ass, and I don't do that here. I don't allow that. If you're gonna say things, right, I would hope we have things to back it up. That's it. Age and pronouns.
26, him. He.
Okay, pick a topic you disagree with.
Black people can't be racist.
Okay, no anecdotes, no hypotheticals, and if your only understanding of the topic is rooted in the dictionary, you're just not going to do well in this conversation. Go ahead, make your argument.
Oh shit! Hold up. That was a lot. So yeah, I would adhere to the definition of racism. Let me pull it up real quick just so we have an idea.
What? Sorry,
No, I know what racism is. I just don't want to
hold on.
get
Peach
flagged.
Hold on, Peach is talking. Go ahead, Peach.
I'm sorry. All right. Can I just want to make sure that I heard what you said.
Mm-hmm.
You said no hypotheticals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no personal stories, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said if you're depending on the dictionary definition to have this conversation, you're not going to do very well in it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I just need to make sure that I heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanted to make sure that I heard, because he said it was a lot and it didn't feel like a lot to me. And then I thought, well, maybe it is a lot. Maybe I missed some shit. So I'm just, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Peach.
So yeah, like I was saying, I would adhere to the definition of racism, which is just prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against one other people because of their race or ethnicity.
Where are you getting that from?
Simply, the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Okay.
So that's a pretty credible source.
That's
and it's just it.
Oh, that's not. Dictionaries aren't credible sources. Do you know what the difference between a primary, secondary, and tertiary source?
So a dictionary. Oh, well, yeah. I'm under the belief, and just correct me if I'm wrong, that a dictionary would be a primary source.
No. You would be actually
Okay.
in a college level. You'd be laughed out the room.
Yeah. Well, could you tell me how it's a secondary source then?
It's just not a source at all to make an argument.
Well, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure it's a primary because it's like defying a thing.
It's not. It would not
defying a word.
It would not qualify as a source. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me think. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying because you can't cite it, so it's not necessarily a source. But
No,
again, the addiction.
It just takes a common man's understandings, a common man's fifis, and just writes it in a book, especially Merriam-Webster, which it says right here at the beginning of Merriam-Webster, right? What to know about Merriam-Webster. Merriam-Webster is a descriptive dictionary, and that it aims to describe and indicate how words are actually used by English speakers and writers. Generally, the descriptive approach to lexicography does not dictate how words should be used or set forth rules of correctness, unlike the prescriptive approach. So what it's saying is just because it's in here does not mean doesn't mean this is how you should be used it or it's being used correctly. This is just how people are using it in society. What's up, Black Henry?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I like the let's not use dictionaries and let's define racism together. But can we walk it historically? And if we go walk it historically all the way up, let's find out if black people could be racist. Can we do that, Rodney? Want to walk with me?
Walk historically, yeah.
Yeah. Walk with me. Okay, so let's just say let's start at let's say 1820. Let's start at 1820.
Okay.
Let's not go too far back. Let's start at 1820. 1820, black people were enslaved. White people could beat them. Could black people be racist at that time?
In 1820, yes and no.
Okay, so how could black people be racist at that time? They're getting whipped. They're enslaved. They're treated as property. How can a piece of property be racist?
Well, I would just say that they were kind of racist towards themselves or other black people,
No,
necessarily
hold
speaking,
on.
like another black person from another country.
Okay,
and so
again,
forth.
black people, no matter what,
Yep.
when they got most black people when they got here to America, they were in a caste system where they were bought and sold. And so what I'm saying is, could a black person be racist in 1820?
Yes.
So you're saying a black person could be racist?
Yeah, then I had provided the example of
Okay,
them being
let,
racist
let,
to one another.
let's move forward then. After slavery, what ends up happening is
Mhm.
the Emancipation Proclamation. Next you know, the 13th Amendment, they abolish slavery. Next you know, they say black people are citizens. But black people can't go through front doors of establishments. Can black people be racist not going in front doors of establishments? Just asking.
So now this is like during Jim Crow and like all that
Yeah,
stuff,
Jim
right?
Crow, yeah. Just asking, can black
Um,
people be racist?
it would be racist during yeah, because that was when colorism really started to amplify within
So now you're talking about
society.
So first you talked about xenophobia, now you're talking about colorism. See, xenophobia.
I'm just answering your question with this
Right,
with the claim.
but remember, we're trying to define racism, not xenophobia and not colorism.
But
right?
colorism derives from racism, though.
Okay,
No?
but
Or yes?
but listen, we're talking about black people being racist because you said black people be racist. Black people cannot be racist against black people. There's no such thing as black people being racist against black people because black people. One, I'm trying to show you how black people can't be racist. So there's no way. Now, black people have colorism against other black people. Black people could hate other black people because they hate themselves. But black people are not going to be racist against white people or anybody else. And so I'm trying to have a good conversation with you, but I can tell you don't have good faith because you just told me while a black person was getting the shit beat out of them, they could be racist.
To one another, not to the blue-eyed person that you hate so much. I clearly made the distinction to
Okay,
one another.
so what I'm saying is black people cannot be racist to each other because how can you be subject to something and be part of that something?
How can you be subject to something and be part of
In other
that?
words,
What?
in other words, how can you be a victim of it and still
Mhm.
and actually use it? You cannot be a victim of racism and still be racist.
But then how do we get colorism then? Would be my question.
Right, colorism is not
Legitimate
racism.
question.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's
You cannot
prejudice.
be, in other words, you cannot be subject. In other words, you
Mhm.
cannot be a victim of racism and be racist at the same time.
Colorism is a response to racism. It's black people internalizing racism done onto them. It's not racism.
Colorism is
So, Rodney.
internalized racism, and
Rodney.
it's projecting what racism has done to them. That's kind of what I just heard and interpreted.
So Rodney, so if a black person in 1820s getting their heads knocked in, they're getting tied to a post and getting hit on their back, can that person be racist?
I'm trying to have a
How
good
is
faith
that?
conversation, but if you keep asking me the same question, it's going to appear that I'm being disingenuous. But if you want to get into the nuance,
I think you're being disingenuous when you're telling me
Mhm.
that a person that literally can't walk through a front door, they can't eat certain foods, they cannot buy property, they cannot do all this, but you're telling me that that person can still be racist?
Yes. Now, may I ask you a question since you've asked me a series of questions? Just one question I wish to ask.
Okay, I'll give you one question, even though you haven't answered any of the series of my questions in a serious manner. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll acknowledge that. Can because around that time that you're talking, well, not 1820, but around Jim Crow and stuff like that, Italians were treated as colored people. I would ask you, can Italians be racist even though that they were a victim of racism? Can they
You
be racist?
see, now I'm gonna
Mhm.
answer you with, if you don't understand white supremacy and racism and what it is, and everything you think you understand will only confuse you.
Okay, may you answer the question after you've enlightened me on that?
Because white people fighting against white people is not racism. That's just white people hating other white people because they want land and they want to see. White people always want to dominate each other. That's what white people do. They want to dominate each other. Go all the way back to Julius Caesar. Go all the way back to what happened in Troy. Go back to all the different. If you look at all the myths, if you go watch the Odyssey, what you're gonna watch is, even though they put some black people in the Odyssey, which was pretty cool, but if you look at Greek mythology, white people have this violence in them. I think it's because they don't have melanin in their pituitary gland like we do. But anyways, white people have this thing called they for some reason their whiteness sucks out their humanity, right? And that's why I love white people that have humanity, because it's so hard to find humanity being white. And so when a white person finds humanity, I think that we need to protect them because they can't hold on to humanity like other people can. And so when white people don't have a lack of humanity, all they want to do is go around colonizing. They want to go around punishing. They want to go around causing harm to other people. And so that's what you see throughout our history: white people causing harm to each other. And then when white people couldn't cause harm to each other, they made laws and rules and bylaws so they could cause harm to other people because of the color of their skin. And so that's how racism had first started. I didn't want to take you all the way back there because I really wanted to understand your mind when you can sit here and say, if a person is getting the shit beat out of them, tied to a post, hit, eating pig slop, they're told they can't do this, they're in chains, and they're all, you just told me all this stuff, and that person at the bottom of the caste system, you just look down at that person getting their ass whooped at the bottom of the caste system and said, guess what? You can still be racist. That's what you said. So at the very beginning, you were disingenuous from the beginning.
I think where the confusion
Yeah.
is, and a lot of people confuses, is that race is a socio-political status. It's a status
Um,
symbol. Whiteness
Racism.
is a socio-political status symbol, right? And so people have been assigned in and out of these structures. But blackness, the things that have remained the same is those socio-political status symbols themselves. Right, there have been different methods of how we assign those. Like there was the one drop rule and things like that. Have been different methods of how those socio-political status symbols have been assigned. We've even had a black little girl be deemed white, how we would perceive her would be black, but she was deemed white. Her name was Sarah Richter because she had wealth, right? She had inherited oil, right? Which made her extremely wealthy. But white people could not allow a black person to have that much wealth. So what did they do? They just made her white. Did they change her phenotype? No. They just assigned her whiteness because whiteness is a socio-political status. I think that's where a lot of people get lost in the weeds.
White people is so I just want to respond to him and then I'll respond to that. Like I totally hear you, like, blah blah blah, barbarian, caveman. I get it, right? They literally, I understand you, bro. Like I get it. I get how they behave, right? And the violence. But I kind of get lost on what Ari just said when like she said like white is like a political or like a societal status, because now you're feeding into the supremacy that you wholeheartedly hate so much. You know what I mean? Like you're actually giving them the upper hand by making that statement.
We're gonna take a step
Yes,
back
ma'am.
to what Black Cabinet just said. How did race start, and where did it start?
How did race start? It just happened throughout the human races. Like there were different human races. Yes, there was different like human. Well, I don't want to say that, you know what I mean? But like there was like the first person obviously was in Africa, right? Boom, and then allegedly they migrated.
Show me evidence of racism existing before 1452.
show you evidence of race. Well, they had the Mongolians. They had this I forget the one crazy ruler and dictator. Like, I mean, he ruled like half of the world. What was his name? I can look his name up real quick, but it was like a crazy, Mongoloid dictator.
What is race?
He said a crazy Mongoloid dictator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know who I'm talking about. I just can't. Genghis Khan.
I'm pretty sure that's a slur as well.
See,
Wait, seriously? Whoa.
So that's why. All right, that's why when he said he didn't want to go by, I tried to help him out by let's not go with definition, and let's both come up with a common term of what racism is, because to me, when someone says black people can be racist, I always go back to how racism was established. Hold on, Rodney, because I got.
I just want to make the claim. I just want to make the claim of why I think.
Hold on, because Ari's about to take you through a whole nother way of education that you probably do need to have this conversation, and I promise Ari can do this way better than I can, and so can Peach. They can do this way better because I don't have the kind of patience that they have. So I'm just gonna say this. So historically, if you really want to walk you all the way through it, if black people couldn't go through doors, I'm trying to find out, when did black people tell white people they couldn't go through front doors? Because racism was established when white people were riding around in hoods and lynching black people. We called that racism. Even white people called that racism at the time, and they were proud to be racist. And so, but see, that's what I'm trying to say. So I don't understand is, when white people were proud to be racist back then, they never said black people be racist. When white people were walking with picket lines trying to tell black people they couldn't go to our schools, white people literally said, we are proud racist people, and they never called black people racist. But today, a white person's called a cracker, and they're throwing up the racist sign. I just don't get it. Proud white people who've never said that black people be racist. They have made sure that black people never had the power to be racist, have beaten them to the bottom of the caste system, have always told them that they were trash, and yes, we're racist. In fact, I have a book said because God told us so. It literally talking about how evangelicals use Christianity to say that they're racist, right? And I've been reading, I'm like, wow, this is crazy how they use the pulpit to be racist, and they were proud racist people. So what I'm trying to say is, how can proud racist white people for so long say, yes, we are racist, we are dehumanizing them, they're not human, all this time, and now someone like you want to come up and say black people can do that to us? When did black people jump on horses, put on hoods, and ride through white communities and break white people out of jail and then lynch them in the tree? When did black people say that basically make sure that schools are shut down so black people could not be doctors and nurses, to make sure black people could shut down schools to make sure white people couldn't be doctors and nurses, to ensure that white people did not have health care? When did black people criminalize white people and fill up the jails with white people so much that white people, that therefore vacancy laws and things like that will lock them up and take them and put them back in place? When did black people do that to white people? See, they are defining what racism is. Why are people trying to change the definition of racism to just hating another color? When you have to show a body of work what racism is. White people have took a long time to define what racism is. They put in so much work just to be racist, and they have defined it. And here you are trying to tear down everything your white ancestors have done and built for you.
So yeah, just before you go, could you answer the one question I asked as far as how could Italians like how could they be racist? And I'm not necessarily saying racist to because again, you make the claim that if you're a victim of racism, you can't be racist. So I'm asking you on how this Greco person, whatever, from Europe would be racist to one another and also racist to another class if they was already a victim. So I just, before you run and dodge, just answer that question before you dodge.
Because Italians have been grafted into whiteness. The concept of whiteness pulled Italians in, and Italians, Jewish people, they all became white. Poland's, that's the reason. Why do you think you hear bagpipes when the police officers go to funerals? Is because what they did is when they found out that color was coming in, they said, we need to give the Italians the fire departments, and we need to give the Poland's the police departments, and we're going to make them white. And they became white. And so now whiteness has see, that's what whiteness always does. It widens itself to pull more white people in so they can always be the dominant people. See, the thing is, white people have made them all white. If if Italians right now said we don't want to be white, we want to be Italian. If Poland said we don't want to be white, we want to be Poland, then guess what? Then whiteness would actually shrink. But all these different people all came together and said, let's all be white together. And that's the reason why they're white. And that's why they could be racist, because they cleave to what whiteness is. They love being what whiteness is. And so the concept of whiteness, so you think whiteness means white skin, but no, it's a concept and the ideology. And once they cleave to ideology, they were grafted into whiteness and given the privilege of whiteness. And that's the reason why they could be racist.
Yeah, I was addressing that too, so it wasn't a dodge. That's why I was telling you whiteness is a socio-political status, and people have been assigned in and out of that. And I gave you a really prominent example of Sarah Rector, so you can have a full image of how people get assigned in and out of that. Italians, when migrating here, were assigned whiteness. So it wasn't immediate, but they were assigned whiteness later. Same thing with the Irish, were later assigned whiteness. Right? Because race is a socio-political status, right? I got to figure out where you are in the status assignment. You have no information outside of that.
I just disagree with it because it plays into the supremacy. Because now I would say, well,
So
what
now
about
we're
all
gonna
the black
now we're gonna
ultra
go
wealthy
back.
people?
Now we're gonna go back to, and again, that's the difference between is sexism racism?
Of course not. What?
Great.
All right,
So
I'm gonna let you and Peach go to work. I'm sorry, I'm gonna drop, but thank you so much for letting me up. Thank you all for the love. Because it hurts my head when people don't want to move a little bit. Like we're trying to push them off that one little square, but he wants to stay. And when people don't want to walk with you ever just to grow, I can't. It hurts. It hurts. And you're made for this, not me. So you got this, and I appreciate you, and thank you for letting me up and letting me
thank you.
speak.
Thank you for coming
Thank
up,
you,
Black
Peach.
Cabinet. Thank you.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, like
Hold on.
I'm literally
Hold
black
on.
and I look
No.
like Ari.
Oh,
Like I'm light skinned, but I
oh,
just want to
wait.
say.
Don't talk. Don't engage with the chat. They're. Where'd Khadijah go? I just let her up. Maybe she's still loading in. Sometimes TikTok has been like, I let them up and then they don't come up and then they do poof up. So if Khadijah just poof up all of a sudden, make sure y'all gift her. I don't know what happened, because I definitely did just let her up. But really quickly, yeah. So this is why we're gonna go back to the origins, right? Because you're saying these things without any evidence, and you don't even have an understanding of the foundations of race. So I'm gonna ask you again, where's your evidence, right? Of racism starting.
Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Khadijah. Of racism starting before 1452. Actually, no. Let's get us. What is race?
Racism or race?
Let's racism and race go hand in hand. What is race?
Yeah, I remember I opened and I said I would adhere to the just base definition. Then we got into the blah 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 definitions aren't real and man made.
Racism, and I'm okay. Like, listen, it's okay if you have if you're able to talk about things, right, from other information. Like, I have lots of other sources, so I don't have to rely on the dictionary. That's why I gave you the disclaimer that relying on the dictionary, you're not going to do well here, because that's literally an elementary level understanding of these topics when there are whole fields of studies dedicated to this. History,
Like psychology, right?
Anthropology, psychology, sociology.
So let's talk about psychology, 'cause I have a lot of knowledge in
No,
Okay.
no, because I still want my question answered, right?
I'm
And
gonna
if you-
answer your
if- and
question
if
from a
you
site.
don't no, because race and what it is has nothing to do with psychology right now. I just need us to understand what is race, so we have a baseline of how it started. So
yeah,
what is
race would just race would just pretty much be I would say a social construct of a description of a person.
Go ahead, Peach.
Yeah, I just find it really interesting that he was able to shut the fuck up and not interrupt Lloyd one single time. And now you can't seem to get 3 words out of your mouth before he needs to jump in and interrupt you because he's not listening at all. So I'm just wondering what information he thinks he's going to get out of you if he can't listen to you. And even when he was actively listening to Lloyd, he was not parsing or retaining any of that information whatsoever, because all of these questions so far are just repetition. Like you're stuck on the thing that's already been, they've already discussed this with you. They've already talked to you about every single question you're asking. But because you don't care enough, and because you hate women, and you are looking at a person and listening to a person that sounds like someone you hate, then you're forcing the rest of us to go around and around and around the same circle with you. And I'm just trying to figure out is it just because you don't have anything else to do on a Saturday?
Yeah, what you described is this whole podcast revolving around circle reasoning and not being able to elevate. And yeah, I agree with that. And I disagree with misogyny. I love women.
You agree that shut up. No, you don't. So again, you didn't even listen to me because you think I said that this place is caught in a circle. I said you are, because you're not listening to anything anyone else is saying. You don't understand, because had you been listening, had you come up here with a genuine curiosity and a desire to know more, you would have heard that the host said to you, first thing, if you're depending on a definition, you're not going to do well here, which would communicate to you that this is a space where you're going to need to think critically, and you're going to need to be creative. You're going to need to want to learn just as badly as you want to share information. That's not a circle. That's an encouragement. That's an inspiration. That's a chance. But you're here because you think you know everything. And that's why every time they open their mouth, because they look like a woman and they sound like a woman, they have a feminine sounding voice, higher than usual. Also, they look very young. So you think that you can bully them. That's why you can't shut the fuck up. That's why when Lloyd was talking, you didn't say a word to him. You turned kitty cat and sat under the table listening to Lloyd. That's why you haven't interrupted me, because I sound old as fuck. I'm telling you. So don't tell me, oh, I love women. Shut the fuck up. This isn't about that. This is about the fact that you can't read. You don't want to read. You're not curious. You're not creative. You just hate people. And that seemed like a bigger problem than what we here to address.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's also an elementary level understanding as well of misogyny, because misogyny isn't simply the hatred of women, that's tertiary.
Yeah, man, we just stick to the topic and no personal attack or ad hominems. I think we're all old enough just to have an intellectual conversation. No, not you. That was directed to Peaches.
No, what
Sorry,
Peach said, there's
what?
nothing wrong with what Peach said. They were absolutely true. That was a read.
Yeah, what did I say that was insulting or ad hominem? Do you know what ad hominem is?
Yeah, it's a personal attack because you literally stopped talking about the topic and just talked about me for your entire majority of your monologue. But I could talk about the psychology of prejudice and racism.
Okay, what I can talk about is that
It's
you don't
nothing.
know what an
You don't
ad
talk about nothing,
hominem
ma'am.
is.
Respectfully, you don't talk about nothing.
What I can
don't.
talk about is
You're
you don't know what an ad hominem
You just
is.
don't. I'm sorry.
You don't know do you know what an ad hominem is? Go ahead and
No, I
unmute your
don't.
mic.
I don't. But I bet you Google Gemini that you're looking at has the best definition, huh?
You think I use Chat GPT?
I can tell whenever you use a buzzword and they ask you what it is and you have to define every term you use, they're more unlikely looking at a chatbot right now. It's just basic. It's just basic humanism. Like humans don't behave like that. Like, can you define this? Like humans really don't behave like
Hey
that.
Peach,
They don't.
what's your
They
master's?
don't.
What's your master's in, Peach?
English,
Which means
books and words.
you know how to make arguments and
Absolutely.
understand how, like, the language around arguments and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Rodney, did you want to say that I can't say anything anymore? I don't have anything to say, or did you want to tell me how I used an ad hominem? No, that's what I thought. So
I
here's
was
the thing
just
for those, excuse me, shut the fuck up. For those in here wondering what an ad hominem is, an ad hominem is not an insult. It's not solely an insult. I'm gonna say
The
this again.
insult. It is an
I
insult.
told you
She's
to
lying.
stop talking over me. I
But
told
you're
you to
spreading
stop
false
talking
information.
over
I don't
me.
want her live.
No,
Alright.
I'm not.
So we're gonna open
So
up rejection therapy because it may seem you need a session, guys. So chat, y'all know how it works. Every dollar counts.
Donate.
It
Give her
sounds
some
like
money.
Rodney needs a session.
Give her some money right
because
now.
he just keeps over talking. He can't control himself. Go ahead, Peach. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, money chat. Donate
an
right now,
ad
please.
hominem is wow. You are
Please.
making a fool of yourself, and you are fighting the mute button. An ad hominem is not only an insult. An ad hominem may be insulting, but it is not only an insult. So let me give you an example. I may say, Rodney, your face stinks like the inside of an asshole. That's an insult. Now, if I said, Rodney, your face smells like the inside of an asshole, and that's why you're wrong, that's an ad hominem. I never said that's why you're wrong. And so for me, if I just simply say your face, smell your face right now. Oh my God. Have you considered washing your face? Would you consider some soap and a wash rag? Would you do that? Your face. Okay. That's just an insult. And it
So yeah,
doesn't mean, excuse me. I'm not sure why you keep talking over
you
people.
talk for a
You
whole
said I
for a minute.
can talk for an hour. I can talk for an hour. I can
Not
sing
your
a
platform.
song right now. Ari, can I
Your
sing the song
mod.
right now if I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I can sing the
Damn,
song.
good
That's
girl,
no
Ari.
problem.
Good.
So, but rejection therapy is open, y'all. Help Ari out, because get this motherfucker out the paint. Thank you for letting me define what an ad hominem is, Ari. Love you.
I love you too, Peach. I love
So
you
yeah,
too.
clearly
So
that was
now,
at.
so now we're gonna get back to the argument
So
because
okay,
you're
you're
just
right.
mad because Peach is addressing why you're not answering questions here, and so I'm just gonna go back to what is race again to get us back on that.
Yeah, remember I had somewhat conceded, and I was like, hey, we can even define race as a social construct of just being a description of someone's appearance.
Has it always been based off someone's appearance, or has it always
Yes.
has that been the only parameter?
Yes.
So the one drop rule is based on appearance.
No.
No. Great. So then what I said still stands, right? And now that we understand that, how did that come to be?
Mhm.
When do we
How
see
did what
the
come to be?
origins of race?
Wait, was that a rhetorical question?
No,
Say it again,
I'm
Matt.
asking you, how do we see the
What?
when do we see the origins of race?
When do we see the origins of it? Oh yeah, like I said, historically, when
W in the chat for rejection therapy. Y'all cleared that out so fucking fast. Jesus fucking Christ. W's in the fucking chat. Jesus. Yeah, he needed a session of rejection therapy because he had big feelings. Really big fucking feelings. Oh, damn. Jesus. That was fucking painful. Guys, make sure you're gifting Peach for their labor because that was labor. Make sure if you guys have the ability to, please give Khadijah because Khadijah's a refugee and we do mutual aid here. Also, if you're in my Discord, we have a shit ton of mutual aid requests. So please check out the help desk. There are a lot of people who are experiencing house scarcity, food scarcity, who are trying to get out of trigger warning DV situations. Lots of things like that going on in the Discord right now of people asking for help. It's actually really overwhelming. But I'm glad we have cultivated a community where people feel safe to ask for help. So with that being said, if you have the ability to, please check out the help desk and help where you guys can. Also, you guys know my first rule of mutual aid. Put your oxygen mask on first. Do not put yourself in financial hardship to help others, right? Because then we're going to have to help you too. Right? So make sure you take care of your needs. And if you have a little extra, just help where you can. That is always my number one rule. But huge shout out to, let's read out all the donos. Sorry. There was a couple. So first we'll start off with Cash App. W's in the chat for Taffy for the $10 dono for rejection therapy. Thank you so much. Thank you in the chat for Red Expo Marker for the $5 dono for rejection therapy, saying for dealing with the guest. I know. Annoying. Thank you. W's in the chat for Tiffany for rejection therapy, saying for the $10 dono, saying rejection therapy for the win. W's to you for that. Also, W's to Shar Destiny for the $50 dono. Thank you so much. Saying for this man who hates women and hates his black self. Yeah, that was a lot of internalized anti-blackness. Definitely hates black women, but he has a mama, right, guys? That's what he said. He's like, I have a mom and I love her. Okay, sure. W's in the chat for toxicity for the $5 dono, say I reject him. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you want to support me, support book club, and support everything we're doing, please check out Cash App pay links in the bio. Also, Peach just did some labor, so make sure you guys are hitting their pay links. They have a Venmo and a Cash App. Their Cash App is Peach Loves. I'm pretty sure, right, Peach? I might be getting confused because your Venmo is different. But I'm pretty sure their Cash App is Peach Loves. So make sure you guys are checking out their links and supporting them as well. Okay. There you go. Thank you, Rage. Thank you. What's up, Cascade?
Hey Ari, hey Pete. I just came to tell you I've been inspired by your topic, and I want to present you another psychosis that we have here on TikTok, if you may. First of all, let me just tell you, I was ordained and ministered and indoctrinated into my psychological degree by the TikTok School of TikTok LLC. And so I do have my degree in counseling. I have come to find out people like him have what we deem in the DSM 652.31 as yeah, we deem it as debate psychosis. And what debate psychosis? Yeah, yeah, it's a very serious mental health issue here. And what it does is that it virtually captures the mind in a perpetual state of debate limbo. And that limbo is psychosis. And it has that person just wanting to debate, right? They can look at the sky and see that it's blue, but they'll debate that it's green. You know, you'll hear certain phrases. Look out for these key phrases. Trust me, bro. Okay, you'll hear the phrase in debate psychosis. I know that you're familiar with that, right? And you'll hear them say things like, I have a source, Wikipedia. You know, you'll hear things like that. They just want to debate anything. You know, you can say, I said red, and they said, no, you said blue. They just want to debate anything, because what happens is that, you know, we have found that this is rooted in not being celebrated, not being recognized. We have found that these individuals did not have their, you know, pictures put on the refrigerator as magnets when they were children. And so we have deemed that these individuals are, you know, suffering also from a little bit of FOMO. They're missing out on a lot of things. And because they're usually white tea, they don't have any culture. They usually smell like moldy raisin bread.
And pennies.
And yeah, and pennies, copper, nickel, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! And usually they also smell like, you know, Oscar Mayer BOLOGNA. And with that being said, it is a debate psychosis. He did have it. I did recognize it. I was ready to give him treatment, but the office had said no, because he was actually quite aggravating to every single last one of our counselors. We have a dedicated team of a lot of counselors, and when they get aggravated, they just say no. And so we have deemed him unworthy of the debate counseling that we have. We have a rigorous course that we offer. We do have a you know, guaranteed program that does work. It may have some practices that a lot of people don't agree with, but you know, we do them nevertheless, and they do work. So that is the debate psychosis that we have. I also want to say that, you know, I was going to roast and read him, but Peach did such a great job. And so I just want to say, you know, as just an add-on here, that if you're shaped like Emily Elizabeth, then don't talk to me. Yeah, if you have that going on, don't talk to me. If you're shaped like Pepper Ann, don't talk to me. If you're shaped like Johnny Quest, don't talk to me. You know, we know that you guys have some, you know, auspicious flawing of shaped bodies here, and we don't want to, you know, body shame. We just want to name the shapes for what they are. If you're shaped like a hexagon, you know, we just want to recognize that you are incongruent. So yeah, I just want to let you know that, you can use that. Debate Psychosis is now on the board. We are seeking to get approved for the DSM 5.3 2.2 since we are in the 2.1. And so we are going to get that approval next year, 2027. And we will include talk therapy. We don't have talk therapy right now because we don't want to waste our breath. Black labor is a thing. But we will include talk therapy next year, and the fees will significantly increase, especially for our Black women that's on the team. So we want to make sure they get compensated.
I want you, before you go, to consider 2 other diagnoses for that DSM.
Absolutely,
Ready?
Absolutely.
One is white mama syndrome. Yes, I think that's an epidemic, white mama syndrome, for the biracials out there with white mamas. It is a problem. And secondly, what sometimes the way Black women do apology for Black men, auntie syndrome. I call it auntie syndrome. So I want you to have those in your considerations. For auntie syndrome and white mama syndrome.
Yeah, we will take that back to the board, and I'm pretty sure it'll get approved as soon as possible. Our team usually approves things within 24 hours, and so we will definitely add that to the book, and we will definitely make sure you are notated in the book for bringing that to our attention. We'll make sure that you receive 20% of all the proceeds that we get from our counseling sessions, okay?
Got you. Thank you for coming up, Cascade.
Thank you, Ari. See y'all later. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Do you know you're on live? I don't think they know. I'll just drop you down. Okay. W Lane in the chat for the $1 dono. Thank you so much. Just cause you are loved. Thanks for all that you do. You're beautiful. I wish I had more, but your boy is tight. Oh, it's okay. One, you do not have to send anything. You literally do not have to send anything, right? First rule of mutual aid counts towards donos too. You do not have to send anything. Please take care of yourself, right? I appreciate you. I love that you're just here hanging out with us, period, point blank, right? You're good. I have what I promise. I promise, okay? Have you read White Fragility? I have read White Fragility. White Fragility is not one of my favorite books. I guess it's a good starting point for white people. I still don't like it. I don't like the call to action at the end. Because I think white people just need to sit and listen to Black people. Really. Like, I think the oppressors need to learn and sit in discomfort listening to the people that they are oppressing talk about the oppression. Right? That's why I'm always like, I'm really scared of men's groups. I'm terrified of men's groups because I feel like it just turns into of them like, they're supposed to be unpacking patriarchy, but then just turns into like a den of them feeding off of each other's misogyny and just like turns into misogyny fest, right? Like I'm like, ugh! Just sit and listen to women. Is it that difficult? Like, and so I apply the same thing to white people. When white people get together and start talking about racism, I'm just like, it gives me the fucking shivers. I'm like, please don't. Please don't. And so White Fragility is written by a white person. And so the call to action's from a white person. And I'm just like, I guess it's a good starting point, but y'all just need to get comfortable listening to people that you're oppressing. Period. I'm sad. I'm being super serious. Because what happens is like, what happens when we see white people get together and start figuring out what to do about racism? They have protests that have fun and bouncy houses. That's a white person's form of resistance. Like, are we being serious right now? Like, are we being so fucking for real? Like, that's what happens when white people get together, right? When white people get together, right? we get Karens who are mothers to black children who think they know better and can speak on behalf of blackness, right? That's what happens when white people get together, right? And they believe now they are the spokesperson on blackness and like non-white people. And my answer is no, it's just a bunch of fuck shit. And while it is a requirement that white people need to deconstruct whiteness, I think for me personally, I think how you deconstruct whiteness is shutting the fuck up and listening to non-white people, right? So that you get an idea of what whiteness is, how your internal biases feed into that whiteness, so you can deconstruct that. Because the whole point of privilege is to not know your privilege. So how the fuck do you know what whiteness is to unpack it, unless you're listening to the victims of your whiteness? Right? Same thing with men. Like, you're supposed to unpack masculinity. Cool. How do you do that? And how do you unpack your attachment to it unless you're talking to the victims of that masculinity? Yeah, like decenter all the privileged groups. We need to decenter cis people, decenter able-bodied people. Oh, absolutely decenter able-bodied people. Please, for the love of God, stop centering able-bodied people. Decenter whiteness, decenter men. All privileged groups need to be decentered. And at the bottom of it, for me, we need to center children. Like, children, for me, what people are like, oh, the most marginalized is like black, disabled, trans women. The most marginalized is black, disabled, trans children. Children. It's children. We need to listen to children. And a lot of people have a lot of difficulty listening to children. Oh, they don't know what they want. Children are autonomous beings and can tell you so. I have learned so much from children. Literally, I'm being super serious. I made a whole leadership presentation. Like, and I think I can show you. I don't think it has any identifying markers in it. I can show you guys. I made a whole presentation on how to be a leader based on things I learned from children. And I literally said that I credited the children. I was like, these are all things I learned from children, what children have taught me. Period. And this is what happens and how I can grow when people start listening to children. Oh, okay. Here's my thesis. I think a lot of people get upset with children because they get mad of how flexible children are in terms of their thinking. Because children's minds are extremely flexible. Like, oh my God, they're so creative, right? And I want us to also take this idea that why art was added to STEAM. Like, STEAM is science, technology, engineering, math. More recently, art was added to it because art, you can just art is essentially just in the boldening of creativity. You can interchange the word creativity with critical thought. So like scientists are thinking critically or creatively. Doctors are thinking creatively. Engineers are thinking creatively. It's all creativity. Creativity is the base of it. And children think so creatively. I think it pisses off people. Because a lot of us have become fixed and we've been socialized, become fixed as we become adults. But children don't have that yet. And so they think so creatively. And so when you get outsmarted by a child, right, it pisses you off. Right? For me, all I see it as, I was like, okay, well, I lost that round. They got me. They outsmarted me. They found a loophole in the thing I'm trying to do. And sometimes it's not the best thing because it's probably something for safety, but sometimes it's actually a better thing because when we're like, we do experiments in my classroom, right? Or when I was in the classroom, we did experiments. And sometimes the kids think of something in experiments I didn't even consider, right? Why would I be mad at that? Why would I be, why? I should be so excited. One, that I helped foster a space that allowed for that creative thought to expand. And two, right? That they feel safe enough to provide that thought here. Like, why the fuck would I be mad at that? But there are people who do get mad at that. And so, just so you guys know, how I run the Discord is things I've learned from children. So when I say my Discord, I run it in a space to unpack reading trauma, right? And that basically this space is cultivated to start us back from scratch. It's because starting from the beginning is the foundations, and these are things we do as children. And I've learned this from children. And so sometimes it's just good to start all over again. So that's what the Discord's for, is for us to start, oh, thank you for the heart. It's for us to start all over again from the beginning of the foundations of literacy. And the foundations of literacy from preschool age is a love of reading. That is literally the foundations. People are like, oh, it's funny, phonological awareness. No, the foundations, like the start of reading, is just learning how to love it. All that other stuff comes next, right? In my classroom, in my pre-K classroom, I didn't focus on phonological awareness, right? They learned that in kindergarten. That does come tertiary. Like, we do talk about it, right? Because I want to give the kids independence to want to read by themselves. But wholeheartedly, my classroom focused on just having them love to read, get excited about picking a book from our library and going on a reading journey together. You know, maybe they want to go pick puppets today. Maybe we want to do storytelling dice today, and we want to roll the dice and tell a story together that we were just making up from the dice. Maybe we want to do a shape story where we're just cutting random pieces of construction paper and we're letting the shapes that we cut out to make up a random story that we're embarking on together. Like, so many different ways of storytelling, but it's getting them excited about reading. And so how I take that is I put that into the Discord, and I just want you guys to be excited about reading. That's why I don't pressure you guys to read any of the books. There's a space for us to do educational books, right? And we read our educational books. And I don't pressure you guys to read it. I want you guys to read it and ingest the information at your own pace. But there's also a place for you guys to post what I call fun books, right? Because this should be all at your own pace to build that positive relationship back with reading, because our education system has harmed our relationship with reading. Age and pronouns.
Hello. I'm 26. He, him is fine, I guess.
Okay, pick a
Since you get to
topic.
choose.
Pick a topic you disagree with.
Yes. Number one. It's
Okay.
all men, even the good ones.
W Taffy in the chat for another $20 dono, saying more book club money. Oh, thank you for supporting book club. I appreciate you guys, because I do take your donations. One, it helps keep me doing this, but this also goes towards book club and me buying the books to help distribute literacy and making literacy more accessible. So I appreciate it. W Joshua in the chat for the $1 dono, explaining this to other men or white tees is hard. Yeah, I got you. W for another $1 dono from Joshua, saying, trying to learn more and more to keep telling them. That's right. Absolutely. Thank you. All right, I think that's all the donos for right now. If you guys want to support me, support the stream, and support book club, Cash App, pay links are in the bio. Okay. So you're gonna need empirics to make your argument. Go ahead and make your argument for why you disagree with prompt one.
Yes. The word man doesn't describe any type of behavior that we can describe. It's meaningless, basically.
Your contention was the word man or men?
Yeah, your premise is overly vague and it doesn't describe anything outside of maybe for content, maybe, or personal experience. Other than that, it doesn't describe anything factual. The word man doesn't tell me behavior.
What does it speak towards?
It's a generalization of biological difference between men and women, I guess.
Give me a source on sex and gender are the same.
Did I say the same? I'm saying
Yeah.
they don't describe
You said
behavior.
biological. Men is not a biological term.
Oh, even it makes more sense to my argument. If it's
Okay.
not biological, then it's socially constructed, right?
Cool.
If it's socially constructed, if
So
it
then
can change at
so
any
I just want to
moment,
make sure you don't think sex and gender are the same.
for 99% of the population, they're the same. For some people, they're
I
separated.
don't give a fuck about
Mind
99%
and body.
because there's a huge population of people who can't fucking read. So do you believe sex and gender are the same?
For most people, yeah. I live
I
in
don't care about
harmony with
I
myself.
don't care about most people. I care about what we can empirically
If you're
prove.
dysfunction,
So do
yeah.
you believe, I'm asking you, do you
Yes.
believe they're the same?
Let's say for the sake
Yes.
of argument, no, they're not the same.
No. Do you
Okay. What does that have
actually
to do?
engage?
Go ahead, sir.
I don't care for the sake of argument. Actually engage. Do you believe sex and gender are the same?
No, I don't believe dysfunctions are identities. Sorry.
I didn't ask you about dysfunction or identity. I asked you specifically. Let me be very fucking clear. Are sex and gender the same? Yes or no?
Yes, they're the same.
Okay, give me a source.
Source that says what?
That shows that
What's the claim?
that sex and gender are the same. You said you believe they're the same. You said yes.
Okay.
So give me a source.
Let's establish what we mean by
Give me
gender
a,
first.
nope,
What
give
do
me
you
a
mean by
give
gender?
me a source. I don't care about
Then
establishing.
what are you talking about?
I want empirical evidence. Give me a source.
About what? About
That's
gender?
sex
Can
and
you
gender.
define it
That
first?
sex and gender are the same. Just give me a source.
Let's know what gender
Just
is
give
first.
me a
If I don't know
source.
what it
Just
is,
I don't
why
care
would-
about anything else. I want a source.
About-
I want a source.
Is this how you move on
Give
with
me
the
a
conversation?
yes,
If you
yes.
can't-
I just want a source. I see. I things.
Okay.
I don't.
Gender.
For me.
Let's define it.
Hi. Shh. For me, I don't say anything I can't empirically prove, right? With sources that are peer reviewed. So I would expect
The
anybody who
mind is not empirically proven.
shh. I expect anybody else who comes up here to do the same. So you said something that I disagree with. Great, cool. You might have other information that's empirical that we can review together. That might be new to me. So go get that. Go get a peer-reviewed source that says sex and gender are the same.
I reject your
Now
premise
go.
because gender is about
I
the
didn't
mind.
make a premise. I said get a source.
You assume that the mind is empirically studied.
shh. Get me a source.
Okay, so you don't know what you're
Give
talking
me
about.
a source. If you knew what you were talking about, you would have a source that supports your claim. Just go get it.
Okay, the study
It
of
should be.
anthropology.
It should just be very simple.
Okay, just move on with your content.
Go
I guess.
get.
I'm
Go
not
get me
in
a
for
source.
this. I understand.
Give me a
Most of you say
source.
that
Give
you
me
wanna
a
move on with the conversation.
source. Don't care. Give me a source.
But what?
That's
Define
sex
what you
and
want.
sex. You said sex and gender are the same. Give me a source that says that.
Yes, but I don't know what you mean by gender. I know what I mean, but I don't
Give
know
me
what
a
you mean.
source. There must be something out there that even in your source defines what gender is, right?
Yeah,
Your
the whole
source,
field
your
of
source,
anthropology.
your source would say that. So give me the title of a source. Title, source. That's all I want.
The whole field of anthropology.
Title of source. Go get something then from there.
Oh, are you looking for a
Give
paper
me
or
a
something?
source. Yes, paper. Go get it. I don't care about the rest.
Oh, you're an absolute waste of
Give
time,
me
lady.
a source. All right, I'm gonna take your concession in 3.
Keep on with your
So
content.
give me a
I guess. You're not-
source. 1.
Let me just
Give me a
bounce. Thank you for
source.
having me.
2.
You're not
Give
made
me a
for facts.
source. 3. Okay, thank you for your concession. You just like arguing from your fifis. It's so fucking simple. It's literally so fucking simple. I don't do the I know other people do it. I don't do it because I just find it to be silly. There are a lot of things that we can just empirically prove together. And so I don't engage in the nonsense of like, let's define gender together. There's literally sources. Go get it. It's that simple. Right? I do think when we do that and we engage in that, it emboldens transphobic behavior, as if we don't have empirical evidence that talk about sex and gender. Like what? Are we okay? Hold on. Sorry, it didn't connect to the right thing. Oops. So fucking simple. PubMed. And this is why they never want to fucking answer it. It's so fucking simple. And that's why they have to rely on, let's define it from our feelings. Gender, I feel like, is this, right? And they're going to go to the dictionary definition that, like, adult human, male or female. I don't care for that. That is literally elementary level understandings of concepts. Elementary. Literally. Dog water. Right? If you're going to say things, right, I would hope you would have looked it up, right? And this is why I live by that LeVar Burton quote. A reader for life is a learner for life. And a learner for life is someone I consider to be dangerous because you do not have to take someone else's word for it. I don't want y'all to take my word for shit. I really don't. I don't want you guys to trust me, right? Because guess what? I can be wrong, right? My job up here is I want to challenge you guys to go look at information. Just don't believe people. When you read, right? A reader for life is a learner for life. You arm yourself with knowledge so you don't just have to trust people for the bullshit they're telling you. That's it. Right? That's why we read books together and we analyze the books together. Because how I receive the book is not the only way a book is to be received. Right? All my sources are in my Discord. You can go look at them. If I read a source wrong, you are absolutely able to go check me on how I read a source. The goal is to arm yourself with knowledge. Because I think knowledge is one of the most dangerous weapons out there. They don't want you to read. Why do you think they're attacking schools and literacy? Like, one of the biggest arms of white supremacy and white supremacist violence is education. Defunding it. Lack of access. Putting up barriers. Right? It's not shocking that when black people got access to colleges, right, they're like, well, this is not free anymore. Because it gives too much power. Education is so valuable. Movie and TV show perspective, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of essays right now on the new Odyssey movie. I haven't seen it yet, but there's been a lot of dialogue around it. All right, bye, Peach. Have fun with Purdue. W guys for gifting Peach. I appreciate you guys. Tap the screen, share the live. Do all the things. We have 220 people in here, so I don't want to hit a restart, right? So maybe if we can knock out the live goal, get to tap into 100K, we get some more opposition here, because right now we opless. Ain't no ops yet. So clear out the things, do some of the tapping, because I know all 200 of y'all in here don't agree with me. I know there are people that do not feel the same way I do. Also, we got book club today. We are going to be reviewing War Against All Puerto Ricans. Okay. All right, I'm seeing your all Discord messages. I got y'all. I hope it sounds better on YouTube side now. Can I ask you if a book is worth reading? Sure. Again, how I receive a book. What time is book club? Book club's at 2 CST. It's at 2 CST today. And guys, we got some really good, cool things happening with book club today. So in today's book club, one, we're going to be reviewing War Against All Puerto Ricans. We're going to be talking about where my family reigns from, the island of Puerto Rico. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also probably going to get emotional because I get really emotional talking about it every fucking time. Because it's really upsetting to me. That there's not enough eyes or understanding of like Puerto Rican history and what's happened to us. And that a lot of people, maybe even after we talk about it today, I'll replay the Bad Bunny halftime show for you guys so you guys can have now the cultural understanding of what that halftime show was saying. Because the book and the halftime show go actually hand in hand. Like, if you want to know how real the book is, Bad Bunny, he didn't mention the book, but his halftime show was a representation of things that, historical events that did happen in Puerto Rico because of U.S. imperialism. So, but a couple of really cool things are going to be happening in the... One Mighty Pen, I've never heard about that book, so I'll have to look into it. Sounds cool, but I can't tell you if it's a, smash or pass, because I never even heard that book before. Maybe if you suggest it in the Discord, maybe I'll be on our next book club poll. But we have a couple really cool things happening with book club today. One, thanks to Santana's chat and Santana, we are going to be giving away 20 books today. So, what do you have to do to get access to the book club? The book club give. Words are hard right now. I'm sorry. The book club giveaway. Come to book club. That's it. Join the Discord, which is free. All you gotta do is apply, right? And then come to book club, which is free. And then just say in the chat your name and raffle, and you get entered into the raffle. And so we're going to give away 20 books today. And on top of that, that's not it. The winners of today's book club raffle will also win a free copy of Jeff's book. If y'all did not know, my Uncle Jeff, at the End of the Species. Let me see if I can pull up his website. He wrote a book. And it's here. And he has graciously donated 20 copies of this book to us. And so I have a special code. So for our winners of today's book club, you will be receiving also a message from me with a special code to get access to his book. Okay? Oh, that's awesome, W. Kelly! So, if you want a chance to win a book that's in from our book club list, and we have some really exciting books in there. We have War Against All Puerto Ricans, of course, all these things. And you want a copy of Jeff's book? Come to book club today. It's all free. What more can you ask for? What? Free books? Free conversation? What? Free 99? We love that. So check out links in the bio and come hang out with us. As we have dialogue, you watch me get a little bit emotional, start crying a little bit, because I get really emotional talking about my family history. But yeah, today will be your first book. Oh, we're excited to have you, W. Discord confuses you? I'm sorry, Don. Listen, I try to make it as easy as possible. So when book club starts, me or one of the mods at the entire Discord to let them know book club is starting. And I try to link the channel that we're in. So all you have to do is look for that notification that book club is starting and click on the link that's in that notification and it will take you straight to the stage. If you have any confusion, I know the mods will help guide people to where we're at in the Discord. And then all you gotta do is join in. And anybody, you can just sit and listen to the discussion, or you can request up because we do have it on the stage. You can request up to talk about it. right? It's a space for you to engage in the book dialogue at your own pace. Is there an audio version of Jeff's book or War Against All Puerto Ricans? There is an audio version of War Against All Puerto Ricans. I listened to it. Just Jordan, do you know you requested? I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
That's just like
Just Jordan says they disagree. Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Age and pronouns?
27, she, her.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know you disagreed. Pick a topic
Oh,
you
no,
agree
you're
with.
okay. Yeah, so I mainly disagree with the second one. All masculinity is toxic.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're gonna need
Um,
empirics to make your argument. Go ahead and make your argument.
Yeah, so I've been doing some reading, and it looks like so like one of the sources I use, for example, is the Digital Transgender Archive, and one of the main things it talks about is the fact that prior to colonialism, gender roles, gender identity was very much like fluid, and it didn't well, in indigenous cultures, and then when you look at pre-colonial Africa, particularly in Nigeria, it looked like the what defined masculinity was uplifting women instead of the masculinity that I believe exists, today in America as a result of colonialism. So where it depends on the demonization or the oppression of women. So I would say because of that, I would say that pre-colonial masculinity was not toxic.
Yeah, there was no concept of masculinity prior to.
Well, so how do we so it seemed like they did have like some concept of like men and women. So I'm like I said, I'm reading from the Digital Transgender Archive. It's titled Pre-Colonial Gender Expression and Identity in quote North America. And one of the things it says is that there were different roles expected of men and women. Neither men's roles
So
nor women's
that
role. Yeah.
so even the identity of man and woman did not exist. That's a colonial concept as well, right? That speaks towards a gender binary, and what a lot of anthropologists have also recognized is that we have put our understanding of gender and gender roles onto groups that did not have those concepts. Right? Just because people were doing certain behaviors doesn't mean they had an idea of the gender binary as we see it today. So man and woman is a strictly gender binary concept, right? If they had if gender, and yes, they in other societies like the Palestinians, indigenous Palestinians before they were Arabized, they had their gender was more expansive in terms of being a spectrum. So it was not this conceptualization of man and woman. Actually, prior to the rise and spread of patriarchy, they didn't even have a word for goddess. They didn't have a word for queen, right? Because those words are specifically gendered, right? There was no need for those words. So they didn't have it. And that's why a lot of us have, and like a lot of anthropologists are recognizing now that a lot of people that, or a lot of gods, and as they're studying like past religions, and especially like pre-colonial religions, a lot of gods that they thought were like masculine, because we understand when we say the word God, it means a masculine deity, they were actually more likely to be feminine because there was no other word to describe the feminine because there was no need. Everyone was just a god. It was a gender neutral word. We in modern society have gendered it. And that's the issue. So a lot of anthropologists are now recognizing that we have put our own modern interpretation of gender and masculinity onto it. Masculinity didn't come up until in Europe specifically. And it was to talk about the lack of masculinity men had. right? In terms
Right.
of performing masculine duties. So it is a colonial
Right.
concept. And so when people do that, they're just putting our modern interpretation of gender. That's like when people say like, oh, there are black people before 1452. No, they weren't, because the concept of blackness didn't exist then.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I guess I just like, because again, based on like the papers that I was reading, it seemed, and maybe I can definitely do more research on it, but it seemed like they did have some type of conception of there being, obviously they had like, you know, sex and gender being like very fluid and you know, non-binary, and so they also like did acknowledge, so they acknowledge like certain gender roles in terms of like separations of man and woman, and they
Those weren't
uplift.
gender roles. Those were roles based on so a lot of people conflate gender roles with roles that were more sex based, right? Gender roles are specific to the patriarchy.
Okay.
Like i.e. indigenous women or pre-colonial women, or what we perceive as women, femme presenting people, were more likely to be carrying the children, not because that was a role expected of them, it was easier for feeding, right?
Right.
But the community would be expected to care for the children. It's just that when it comes to feeding, it would be easier to have them on your side to just whip out a boob and breastfeed. And so
Right.
that is why. But we take our modern interpretation of understanding that to be a gender role. No, what you would have to establish is that this society had a gender binary to assign these roles. If gender is a spectrum, then you cannot assign a role, right? Man and woman are strictly gender binary things. Now, there were things that they did based on, again, the likelihood or the things that they would have to do, like, again, feeding children, but that wasn't essentially a gender role. It wasn't a expectation, right? So it's a lot more nuanced than saying, oh, well, they did this, so this must be a gender role. No, it really wasn't. We are putting our own understanding of gender, of the gender binary, into their gender and how they facilitated gender within their society. Does that make more, am I helping you understand that?
I think so.
So reading books from like trans feminists help break this down as well.
Yeah.
And that the gender binary specifically is for the purposes of oppression. So masculinity is essentially characteristics assigned to boys and men for the maintenance of oppression, of a hierarchical structure to identify the privileged group and grant them privileges. That did not exist prior to patriarchy, and we do not see evidence of masculinity existing outside because it's specific characteristics assigned to men.
I think what is, because I'm understanding what you're saying. I think what I am having a hard time with is like when I'm reading. So, for example, what is this? It was talking about the Igbo the Igbo people in Nigeria prior to colonialism, and it was talking about the cultural / social definition of African woman, and they defined it like basically in the term like woman or like girl or female. It was more about her social, economic, political, and religious dimensions, and that was these are all like from things like, what is this? Philosophical criticism, anthology of gender issues, the woman in Igbo African ontology. Those are kind of some of the things that it's referencing. And so it seems like there was this concept of, you know, masculinity, but it seems like, you know, prior to, or like once colonialism began, that was reshaped to this more rigid, oppressive form of masculinity that we have.
You already talked about it, right? That one, like, sex has always existed, but did they always have concepts of essentially, because gender itself is a psychosocial schema, right? And how you do a performance, right? Independent to oneself.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to be able to say that they had a understanding, right? Because again, woman only exists within a gender binary, period. So if it's a spectrum, then it does not exist. That means they have multiple conceptualizations of gender. Now, does sex still exist? Yeah, sure. And do people perform those based on things that their body does? Sure, but those things are not synonymous.
So wait, hold on. I think I lost you a little bit. You're saying sex and gender are not synonymous. Is that correct?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I'm
yes.
okay.
And there are
there
are certain behaviors people do based on how their bodies is made up. Like I said, child feeding, right?
Mhm.
Right. But that was not and so a lot of us associate that with the feminine of woman, right? And so we've taken that what we have done, which is like not necessarily true, is we've taken that conceptualization, how we understand women behavior, which is to take care of children, and we have put that on pre-colonial groups, right? When they did not have that conceptualization.
Okay.
And so when you're saying, oh, they were a woman, you can't say that, right? Because that is putting our own colonial idea and conceptualization of this performance onto them.
Well, I guess what would make me, disagree with that is just if we look at the indigenous concept of the two-spirit identity, they obviously had like the concept of being
do you
two-spirit,
do you
of the masculine.
understand that there's a I'm not saying gender has not always existed. It's the gender binary.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. They operate outside of the binary.
So great. So even with the identity of two-spirit, that does not speak to our gender binary. Man and woman, right, is within a gender binary. Now, have patriarchal societies existed prior to the rise and spread? Yeah, sure. So this is where the argument can still stand is also the society you're looking at patriarchal? Because patriarchy isn't like purely colonial, right? Because patriarchy is just a societal structure that favors men, but the gender binary is.
Yeah, I agree with that. The gender binary is a colonial thing because we know that especially like the Portuguese and the Spanish and I believe the French as well, like they would observe. Or no, I mean they would like observe like different African tribes, and they especially so they would recognize that there was a lot of like same-sex marriage, and obviously what they called sodomy. I don't know if I can say that on TikTok. And they deemed it to be immoral or
but it existed before that.
Ungodlike. What existed before?
The gender binary.
It existed before.
Yeah, like we see the rise. We see like a rise and spread of patriarchy coincide with the rise and spread of the Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So like a lot of people only attribute like patriarchy to the Europeans when again we can see it with the Abrahamic religions.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like those religions were primarily spread through colonization. So I'll admit I have to do more research about like religion and how that was practiced in pre-colonial African kingdoms.
I mean, you would have to look at like several things, right? Because I'm also speaking to like a book called When God Was a Woman, which talks about the rise and spread of patriarchy. Overwhelmingly before the Abrahamic religions, we had a lot of more femme-presenting deities where gender was a spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so what you also I think you're still stuck on your modern conceptualization of gender performances and assigning that to other groups.
Well, I think, and I think it's like what I'm reading is not really aligning with kind of what we're talking about, because it seems like, because if I'm going back to the digital transgender archive that I was talking about earlier, like a lot of this is talking about how they did like, so they, for example, they talk, what is this? Let me see. The integral difference between the two-spirit identity and the Western labels of LGBTQ plus is that it is not just a sexual or gender-based identity, it is a spiritual identity. Two-spirit, a translation of the Anishinaabe language. I know I just butchered that. But there's a term. It refers to a person who embodies both the masculine and the feminine spirit. So it seems like they did have a concept of masculinity with that. I can also turn on my camera and show you what I'm reading.
No,
if
I'm on
that would
again.
help.
So you would also have to like prove that they had a conceptualization, because again, I've told you a lot of anthropologists are recognizing that they have taken a modern understanding of masculinity and femininity.
Got you.
And assigned that.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So I guess it would probably be more helpful to like read books from indigenous indigenous people, whether it be in Africa or in the pre-United States, to like understand what their ideas of, if they even had ideas of gender. I get you would recommend that.
No, because I think that's again a misunderstanding, because you said even having ideas of gender. I'm not saying gender did not exist, right? I acknowledge gender was a spectrum, but masculinity specifically speaks towards a gender binary, right? A performance within a gender binary. And that you must adhere to the gender binary. So speaking specifically to a gender binary.
Okay. So I just want to like clarify. So you acknowledge that, you know, they had concepts of gender. So what would those concepts have been if they're
there are groups that have like 8 concepts of gender, right?
Right.
So there is no expectation of performance that you must perform in this specific parameter. Masculinity speaks to you must perform this gender in this specific parameter. If my society has a concept of gender within a spectrum, then I'm not forcing people to conform performance of gender to this specific parameter.
So I think I know now where I'm getting like stuck, and I think it just comes with needing to do more reading. So the part where you just said about masculinity inherently implies like sticking to a specific gender binary. So are you claiming that like even though gender was a concept for these indigenous and pre-colonial African tribes and kingdoms, that they still didn't consider it masculinity and femininity? Is that a fair summary of your argument?
Sure.
Okay. I'll have to look more into that. Do you have any? Well, I'm in your Discord, and I'm guessing you have books and things on that. So would I be able to find like some things that kind of help? Because like I said, because I've been reading over the last like couple of weeks. Because when I first saw your live and said all masculinity is toxic, I wanted to kind of dive deep into that a little bit more, and that's where I was like kind of down the rabbit hole of like pre-colonial versus colonial, and obviously seeing the distinction there. And a lot of the things that I'm seeing were talking about how they did somehow embrace some type of they had obviously like concepts of femininity and masculinity. They just were vastly different from what we would consider today, but they did have that concept.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like, like annoying. It's just something I'm still like, working through and trying to understand. Because like I said, it seemed from what I've like all the papers that I've read and everything, it seems like they were talking about how they did have some concept of a separation, but they weren't as rigid or oppressive
Well,
like people.
that's literally what masculinity and femininity are. So it's not a transformation. That's literally what they are. If they are not that, then that's not masculinity or femininity. That's like when people are trying to say like, oh, this is racism and it just changed. No, racism has always been racism.
Mm-hmm.
It has not changed. It's just not racism. It's just people are trying to fit something into a box. It's not that box.
Okay.
Masculinity is rigid.
Okay. I think okay. So then I would posit the argument, like, are we, like, by saying that, you know, masculinity is rigid, are we enforcing our modern understanding of hegemonic masculinity being toxic and oppressive? Are we what was it called? Projecting that onto the indigenous people and the African kingdoms? Are we, you know, like denying them what they did have, like, as in terms of concepts of gender and whatnot? Like, are we denying them that by projecting our modern concepts of hegemonic masculinity?
I think it's erasure when people try to, and also it's a form of like, I call it, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a liberal cover up of gender. When people try to put masculinity onto societies that did not have this concept, right? And trying to act like it's a good thing. Because masculinity is rigid. And so when people are like, oh, they did have this idea of masculinity, it was just different. I'm like, then that's not masculinity, right? Masculinity is specifically characteristics a society associates with boys and men. If I did not have a concept of a gender binary for boys and men, then I did not have a concept for masculinity, right? It's how I identify boys and men, right? If my society is gender fluid, right, and I'm not asking people to conform to within a specific parameter of gender performance, then I have no concept of a gender binary.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Because I'm a gender abolitionist. Yeah. And so when I say gender abolition, I mean gender abolition of the gender binary. Does that mean gender is going to automatically disappear? Probably not, because gender is a psychosocial schema and how people perform their identity, right? And so I can't tell people to stop performing their identity, because identity is who you are, right? So are there going to have, like, the goal is to get us back to a gender spectrum where people are allowed to perform gender and how they see fit without being shunned from society.
Right. 100% agree with that. All facts, no printer. So yeah, so I will definitely.
This is me putting up an image, if this helps, because I think diagrams help people. Right?
Yeah, they definitely help me.
This is masculinity. It is a box. It says you must perform within this box that my society deems so. Now, when I say, and why I'm saying that is because I do recognize certain societies today have different ideas of masculine performance. Like in the Celtic countries, they wear kilts. Kilts are seen as a masculine performance there. However, that is a masculine performance for them to identify men and boys.
Okay. I see. Okay. I think I see what you're saying. I think that just clicked something, like, for me. So basically, because I think that actually kind of goes along with the stuff that I've been reading, where they lived in a very fluid, like, gender expression. So, like, you know, the concept of, oh, this person who has this set of, like, this sex wearing these clothes, like, there was no, so there was no concept of, like, oh, he's outside of being a man, because there was no concept of it's clicking now. I'm getting it now.
And so this is the spectrum. This is a line. You see how there's no parameters here to say you must perform in here. You literally can do whatever the fuck you want. Right. This is when we say sex is or gender is a spectrum. Right. These are boxes. So when people try to say, oh, this box existed here, no, it didn't. It can't exist.
Right. So there was no, like, masculine or, like, feminine. It was just gender performance.
It was just
Like,
identity performance. Simply, it's just them
yeah,
existing how they
identity
want
performance.
to perform their own identity.
Right.
Right?
That makes so much sense. Okay.
Okay. I would
Yeah.
recommend the books we have passed, and if you're going to be in book club today, and if you happen to read or win the book poll, I would recommend a couple different books. We've read When God Was a Woman, which talks about the foundations of patriarchy in terms of the Abrahamic religions, and talks about how societies, specifically in the Swana region, prior to the Abrahamic religions, were a gender spectrum, and how that got erased.
Right.
And it talks about the erasure of from anthropology of that they didn't have these when I said that they didn't even have a word for goddess, and so we've been misunderstanding that they and assuming all these gods that were pre-colonial or pre-Abrahamic religions were masculine, but actually a lot of them may have been feminine because they didn't have this concept of of gender binary to assign this gender identity marker of goddess. So that book is really helpful. We've read Black on Both Sides, which gives that's not more to it, but that's I think that's really helpful in people understanding the history of gender a little bit, especially in terms of Blackness, especially in the context of the United States. But a really good book that really unpacks it and overall speaks towards gender abolition is Black trans feminism.
Yeah. And I had some interesting discussion. I don't know if you know, his name is Black Peer Review, and one of the things that he talks about, he describes it as wounded masculinity when it comes to Black men, and just how all the traits associated with manliness are used against Black men to attack them under the system of white supremacy.
I would disagree.
Okay.
I would disagree with that concept, and here's why. I think what happens to Black men is Black men are actually the embodiment or the societal representation and embodiment of masculinity. So people recognize how harmful masculinity is. It's just that they do not have the veil of whiteness to shield them from the repercussions of that. Does that make sense? Because whiteness shields. And so because Black men are not white, they do not get shielded from the harms that they do under patriarchy.
Interesting concept. I think with that, I still am operating on I have my doubts about whether Black men have a net benefit from
They do.
patriarchy, only because we see that obviously in the same way, with not exactly in the same way, but we see with Black women, as with Black women, there's a white supremacist structure to use sexual violence and intimidation. We see that used against both Black men and Black women under the system of white supremacy.
No,
So it's
not even to the same extent. I would really encourage you to read Black Trans Feminism then, by Marquise Bay, because they specifically talk about how Black men, actually no, it was Black on Both Sides. Actually, I'm sorry, wrong book. Black on Both Sides by Riley C. Snorton, or C. Riley Snorton. I always get it confused. This book right here specifically talks about Black men and how Black men know that they are privileged under the patriarchy, and it even talks about it in the lens of slavery. The amount of sexual yes, Black men were buck broke. They were not put on breeding farms. They were actually allowed to have more freedom to go move about towns, where Black women were overwhelmingly forced to remain on the plantation. Because there is, even in some sort, there is a camaraderie amongst masculinity, right? And even in this book points out how Black men saw their fucking mothers, right? That Black men knew, especially after they became educated, that prior to them becoming educated, they saw their mother as mother, right? And we know language is really pivotal to showing us how people, their lens on society. And so prior to them becoming educated, they call their mother. And then they come back from school and they recognize their mother as the mammy. The mammy is a slave assignment.
right.
Where they recognize their mother as the inferior, right? And they want to distance themselves from her and also treat her as such, which is really unfortunate because that's your fucking mom and that's disrespectful as fuck. But they treat her as such to shift away proximity from that slave status. And this is also where we start seeing black men start to strive towards white women because they understand that they don't grant white women their humanity. They see them as trophies. Right? This is a trophy of status. So if I achieve a white woman, I have achieved status. And that white women are a status symbol. This is why black men outpace black women in terms of interracial relationships, especially pertaining to marrying white people. Because they recognize the status symbol whiteness provides them. That is white women. Also, yes, someone putting it in the chat, Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks also talks about how black men treat black women too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely don't deny that like black men definitely like benefit from the patriarchy. Just kind of going along with what you said earlier, like they don't, because they're not white, they don't have the shield from as much harm because like, you know, patriarchy harms everyone, even men. And so black men, but they don't have as much protection from the harm caused by patriarchy because they are black. So I think you would agree with that. I think you would agree with that. But yeah, they definitely still uphold it. I mean, we can even see that in terms of the violence committed against black women in like, you know, domestic partner or interpersonal partner violence. Like we see those rates. Not to say that it's like, you know, specifically a black issue, because it's not. Like, you know, obviously that DV exists like within, you know, all racial groups, but it's just the fact that that it speaks more to the fact that like men in general, masculinity thrives and necessitates the oppression of women.
It does. Yeah. It thrives and necessitates the oppression of women. I agree. I do think intersectionality is really important in these conversations as well, in the comparisons. I just overall think, and I tell people all the time, because I do have an issue, and I see this amongst a lot within the community, in the diaspora, people talking about like, oh, white women are worse than black men. I see no difference between the two. In terms of
absolutely.
how they've treated black women.
Absolutely.
So that's my thing, and I think they just both want to be white men.
Oh, 100%. I have said in other lives, because you know how there's a saying, people are like, black men are the white men of the black community, and I'm like, no, they're the white woman, because they play jump rope with their identity. Like they go from one side to another, like depending on what benefits them at the time, whether it be, you know, and obviously for black men, that's their gender, their identity or proximity to masculinity. So
yeah, and a lot of times to like, you know, wrap it all up, a lot of times I do hear black men bring up buck breaking, and a lot of them don't acknowledge how they participated in the breeding farms, happily participated in the breeding farms, in the rape of black women, and two, that they also held the door open when the plantation owners were going in to rape black women. They literally opened the fucking door for them. There was no resistance there. So a lot of them were complicit in the harm towards black women, understanding, and that they would be rewarded with raping black women. Like, hey, you get to take a turn after I'm done with her.
Yeah, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I definitely do understand like now what you're saying when you're saying all masculinity is toxic. I think that what I was like reading, I think what I was reading didn't like necessarily disagree with what you were saying. I think I was just like misinterpreting the labeling of what I was reading, if that makes sense.
I think a lot of people do. I think why these conversations become difficult is because I challenge people to understand and trying to conceptualize gender, because gender is not easy to conceptualize at all. It's very complex, and so I don't fault you for that, because a lot of us don't do that, but that's why we have book club. And one of the books I do want us to eventually get to in book club, maybe next book club or whatever, I don't have it on the current book club, I'll definitely put on the next one, is like Gender Trouble by Judith Butler, who also talks about performances of gender.
Yeah, I consider gender to be as like synonymous, I believe, with individualism. So I believe that
Mm-hmm.
there are as many genders as there are people.
I believe that as well. I believe we all independently have our own conceptualization of
Yeah.
gender. However, society forces us to conform to
Hmm.
perform, or we get shunned or
Yeah,
ostracized, called
absolutely.
a bitch, we recipients of misogyny, blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
But I do believe in all reality there are like as many people there are in society, there are that many conceptualizations of gender.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much for having a conversation with me. I'm sorry if I was annoying, but
No, you're
it just
good.
takes me it just takes me some time to like wrap my head around this because I'm still trying to get out of because I had a very religious Southern upbringing, and
Mm-hmm.
so concepts of the gender binary are still like so indoctrinated within me that I'm like unpacking them. I'm also trying to unpack internalized racism and things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a lot, and it just takes me some time to like get to it. But yeah, I really appreciate you like talking me through it. Yeah, because I definitely learned a lot, and I'm definitely excited for book club. So yeah, I'll definitely be joining that.
No, you're good. You're good. And I apologize if I may have come off frustrated. It wasn't that. I was trying to find different ways to explain it to you that made sense.
Yeah, no, I would have been frustrated with me too, because like, girl, come on now, like you got like you're smart enough. It's like it's almost there. It's clicking. But yeah, I appreciate you, and I'm excited for book club.
No, thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you for coming
All
up
right,
on the combo.
thanks.
All right,
Bye.
bye. All right. We have book club in a half hour. When's book club? In a half hour? um, yeah. We'll see if we can fit one more combo in. Then I might take a break before book club so I can eat lunch. I guess before book club or something. Yeah. Age and
Hey, how you
pronouns.
doing? Sorry?
Age and pronouns.
19, he, him.
Ooh, I do not talk to teens. Sorry. Oh, W Puff. Age and pronouns.
You just said you don't talk to teens. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least they respect the boundary. That was the first time where someone like just, kicked themselves like, "Oh, I heard you." So, I can appreciate that. I'll be okay. I'll be okay. We'll give it like 5 more minutes. Oh yeah, no. But you can, because you respected boundaries, you can stay and hang out and listen. I encourage you to stay, hang out and listen, and you'll get some concepts in. I find it really difficult to talk to teens about these concepts. I don't think you guys are quite there yet because these are a bit challenging. But I encourage you to sit and listen and hang out with us. Because I have grown-ass fucking adults that struggle with these concepts. Like a 40-year-old came up and crashed the fuck out. I really can't. I really can't do the 18-year-olds and the 19-year-olds. And people are like, and then you like, the live host gets frustrated with the 19-year-old. I'm like, are you wondering why you're getting frustrated with a 19-year-old? They're a baby. They're still a baby. You're just a baby. Like, no. These are really these are college level nuanced conversations, right? These are conversations you have with professors, right? You write whole essays on. So I'm not saying you can't ingest the information. I encourage challenging yourself. So, yeah. I was gonna say I'm 40 and I'm oh nerdy. Yeah, I'll hang out 3 more minutes and then we'll call it for the day. Oh yeah, get some work done. You got it. You got it. Actually, am I past my time? Because I had oh, I think I'm past my time. Oops. Because I had my my Blue Sky set up to let people know I was live, and I had it on a timer to let people know I was live for 2 hours, and the timer is up. So I think we hit the 2-hour live, but it's okay. I'll stay on for 3 more minutes and see if anybody else comes up. If not, I will see you guys in a half hour during book club. What is book club? Book club is a chill space where I literally, even if you didn't read the book that we're gonna review today, still join, listen to the dialogue. Because that's what book club is. It's a pressure-free book club where I don't require you to even read a page of the book. The only person required to read any of the books is me. Not even Shay has read all the books for book club completely. Sometimes she's finished them after book club, but like I'm the only one who I hold to reading all the books by book club. And so how it works is we do a community poll, which the community poll is up right now. Go check it out. And I don't know about y'all. If you're gonna go vote in the book poll in the Discord, I personally would really love to read Wretched of the Earth. Just a suggestion. I would really love to read Wretched of the Earth. That's just me though. Wonder what her favorite food is? Me, my favorite food? Damn, that's really hard. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. My mom was a single mom, and so we ordered out a lot. And so whenever I want to feel comfortable, I order Chinese. I do, because we used to eat a lot of Chinese food growing up, and so it always makes me feel comfortable eating Chinese food. But I'm a very big fan of I'm not filibustering. I said you can do what you want. I just would love to read Wretched of the Earth. I'm not doing. Listen, stop accusing. I'm not forcing anybody to vote anyway. Okay? I'm not. Y'all can vote any which way y'all want to. I just would personally love to read Wretched of the Earth. What kind of Chinese food? My go-to is like now the pork fried rice here where I currently live is not the same as the pork fried rice I grew up on. So I want pork fried rice where I come from with chicken and broccoli. And I used to eat that with like wonton soup. Ugh. Love me some wonton soup. That's my go-to. I'm voting for Cat in the Hat. Wow. But listen, I'm not pressuring y'all to do anything. Y'all vote the way y'all want to vote. Hi, Jennifer. Y'all vote the way y'all want to vote. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying I personally would love to read Wretched of the Earth. Wasn't he racist? Who's racist? Who are we talking about? Banters. Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, yes, was racist. But all white people are racist. Yes. Dr. Seuss was racist. I think they've actually taken a lot of books off the shelves because of the racism in it. I think. I don't know. And in preschools, they still have Seuss Week, which is like the beginning of March. Can we read How Europe Underdeveloped Africa? Absolutely. There are lots of books. Listen, y'all, I want to read all books. Trust me. I want to read that one. I want to read the one on the indigenous people of Turtle Island. Like, there's so many books. There's even a book I want to read that talks about the model minority myth, right? I want to read all those books. Trust me, I do. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Pressure Free Discord. The only person I hold to reading any of the books is me. I've read every single book for book club, every single one of them. It's held in the stage. I do a chapter by chapter analysis where we break down the chapters, and then we give some feedback on like how we felt about that and things like that. And it's just an unpacking, chill space, and it's to help you read at your own pace and how you receive and ingest information. The whole point of it is to unpack what I call reading trauma that our education system does by like forcing reading down your throat. And it totally does not do what is pivotal to the science of reading and the science of learning, which is developing a love of reading. So we start all the way from scratch in my Discord, and I just want you to foster a space where we love reading together. That's it. So that's why it's at your own pace, because you learn to love things at your own pace. You cannot force love. You learn to love things at your own pace. So learning how to do that is a chill space to learn that love again. So, and there's also a space where you don't have to, all the books that we review in book club are educational. They're unpacking racism, white supremacy, ableism, all the isms, phobias, imperialism, all that. There is a space though saying that's what you're reading, where you can put books that are non-educational that you want to share, that you're reading right now, that you just want to share with everyone. Like I've put, I'm a smutty book reader, so I put some of my smut in there that I read, that I love and I'm really excited about. So there's that space too, because it's just a space of reading. Also, if you want to go by some of the, or look at some of the sources I use in debates, they're also posted there in my burn book section. Regina's burn book is also there too. So, have you read Invisible Man? I have, I think I read Why the Caged Bird Sings in high school, but I don't think I read Invisible Man. So, okay, what's my favorite smut? These three books right here. So this is Dare, and these are all by Harley Lorax. This is Dare. This is a prequel to Losers Part 1. And look at these bad boys. They're so fucking thick. Ugh, I love them. These are some thick babies. I read them all. Oh my god, I sat here in the fucking dark. Like, this is one of those books where I started reading in the morning in my Kindle, and I was, next thing you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night in my apartment, and the only light that's on is my Kindle light. So like, that's how deep I was in these books. No poise. So Losers Part 1, Losers Part 2, my favorite so far, because to me these were the most consensual books, right? They went through, this book does have BDSM in it, but they had negotiations, which are important. They did check-ins, like color coding check-ins, like green, red, yellow. Like, oh my god, the amount of consent in here, and talking you through it, and check-ins and aftercare, and just chef's kiss. Mwah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love it. I just love Harley Lorax books too. She did the Soul series, which I've read all three of her books, but I only have 2 of the physical copies of her book, Soul of a Witch and Her Soul to Take. I read those 2. Like, I just whenever Harley puts out a book, I'm in there like fucking swimwear. I'm like, I'm in there. I'm fucking in there, because her books, oh my god. So the Dare is prequel. Losers Part 1, Part 2. My opinion on Haunting Adeline, I've read it. and there are a lot of people who have, and I'm a dark romance reader, so there are a lot of people who already have contention with that. For me, the thing that matters most to me is the consent of the reader in these situations as you're reading, while also recognizing the reality of what's happening. So there's like a lot of sexual violence that happens in both books, so much sexual violence, and I think it's important to read that, and that also like look at the author commentary, and Peach has brought this up in their lives, that the author has said that Haunting Adeline is not a romance book. It's not. The main the leading man character is supposed to be a fucking hypocrite, like a gross hypocrite, and I think a lot of people miss that. And I also am of the mind that not all literature is for everybody. So like I will not read Credence. I do not want to read Credence. You can't get me to read Credence, and I will not read it. No thank you. That book is not for me. But there are people who have big issues with Haunting Adeline. I read it. I read both books. I think books like Haunting Adeline, for me, a lot of dark romance readers are victims of sexual trauma, and that's how they regain their relationship with sex, is through dark romance. That's how I regained my relationship with sex. Literally, actually, like, I'm gonna be honest. The only reason I started having sex again is because I started reading dark romance, because it did start to heal my relationship with sex. And I heavily talk about this, and I have a therapist, guys, and I talk about this and unpack this with my therapist. But it gave me an avenue to want to rebuild my relationship with sex, because before that I had a really bad sexually traumatic experience, and I never thought I wanted to have sex again. I did. I was like, I don't ever want to be touched, and it was so bad that when it first happened, I didn't even want to touch myself. Like taking a shower, I would cry in the shower, just showering myself. It was really, really bad. Like that's how bad it was. Trigger warning, content warning. I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but if my response tells you how bad it was, that's how bad it was. And a year after that, I finally was able to start, like, I'm sorry if I'm being too explicit. I'm gonna give trigger warning, content warning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, Zaid is not a romance. That's not a romantic character. He's not. He's a hypocrite. And the book is not meant to be romanticized. It's just not. Even the author says it's not meant to be. It's not a romance book. Because rape gets romanticized in our everyday society, that book has been deemed a romance book. But we see how rape and sexual assault gets romanticized in our everyday society. I think people need to take that in context. That book is not meant to be romanticized. Our society romanticizes sexual violence. But for me, a year later is when I was finally able to start masturbating again. And that's just me being honest with you guys. And I like being transparent with you guys as possible of like recovery from sexual violence, is when I was finally able to start masturbating again. And even that was a hard process for me. That took a lot of me learning to be comfortable with my body again. There was a lot of tears in that process. And then I saw a sex worker post about a book on my shelf called Den of Vipers. Guys, Den of Vipers is also another, it's basically in the same realm of Haunting Adeline. So if you're going to read it, trigger warning, content warning, very same realm as Haunting Adeline. But she did a TikTok around Den of Vipers, and she's a sex worker, and she made it sound so interesting to me that I was like, fuck it, we ball. And I bought the book on Kindle. And mind you, before that, honestly too, I never, okay. So this is also like why book club exists. Before that, I never read books. Are we gonna read books? I didn't. You couldn't even get me to touch a book. I never read any of my college textbooks. I couldn't stand it. Because of my own reading trauma. I had a negative relationship with reading. My own reading trauma. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't focus on the page. I could not fucking do it. And then I grabbed Den of Vipers. And I devoured that shit. However, I cried to my therapist afterwards. Because I thought there was something wrong with me. Right? I finished the book, devoured it, and then I went to my therapist. I was like, is there something wrong with me? Like, why did I enjoy this book? This book is terrible. And this, that, and third. And she said, no, it's a form of healing for you. And so we had to have a hard conversation about like CNC and how a lot of victims of sexual trauma engage in that, and that literary forms of it are also very valid, right? So doing CNC through books. And that's why I said the consent of the reader is what matters the most, right? And so when you don't consent anymore, what do? You close the book, right? And that's a form of reclaiming. And so we talked about it, and then she encouraged me. She's like, if reading books like these is what helps you feel liberated again and want to explore yourself again in the ways I know you want to explore yourself, then keep doing it. And so I did. And so we've worked on the shame I felt reading dark romance books like Haunting Adeline and Den of Vipers. And that's what's liberating for me. Yes, check all the yes, please check all the trigger warnings before you read a romance book. Please do. Please do. Especially the Lord series. I've read the Lord series books. Check. Oh my god, especially Sin. Oh my god, Sin's book. That shit triggered the fuck out of me. I was so pissed off with that book. Oh my god. Oh my god, the Lord series, Sinner. Oh, that shit pissed me the fuck off. Listen, I read dark romance, but that book pissed me the fuck. I was like, you took it too far. That one was too far for me. That one took it way too fucking far. I was so fucking pissed. But yeah, and so like that's what dark romance is for me. I don't know about for other people. But that's what dark romance means to me. And so, and that's what it's done for me. And that's why a lot of people have asked me for like a dark romance book club. I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all. No, y'all can start that. Y'all can start that in the Discord as much as you want. Make sure everyone's consenting. Because again, no sexual explicit things in the Discord, right? This is a safe space. But dark romance is for me. And how I engage in it is for me. And so that's one area of my life that I just don't share with people, because this is my recovery journey. This is how I create a safe space. Guys, I'm getting emotional already. God damn it. This is how I reclaim sexual trauma done onto me. This is how I learned how to enjoy sex again. And so my dark romance books are for me. And so that's why I've been asked multiple times to do a dark romance book club. And no. Sorry. My book club space is for, and the one I hold is for educational books. For us to unpack white supremacy and anything you guys else want to read. You guys go on your journey for that. If you guys want to have a discussion about books you're reading, there are different, you guys do not need me to go into any of the voice channels. Like there's the Hangout channel. If you guys want to talk about books together in there, go for it. But my books are for me. These books are for me. So I don't share these. These are for me and Megan, my therapist. And we love Megan. We love Megan. But these are for me and Megan to unpack together. W, go ahead and use a smoke session. I know Caspian's been wanting to use it for a minute. Caspian keep asking in the Discord, hey, who's gonna come in here? But with that being said, I'm way past my time. I already said I was gonna get off. I'm gonna see you guys in about 13 minutes for book club. I'm on chapter 3 of Warrior. Aw, that's awesome. That's okay. You can still join book club and listen to the combo. Still join. What do you mean, wait? I gotta go. No, I'm not. No, I gotta go. I love y'all. I'm sorry. No, I'm already past my thing. Okay? How do we join? Links are in the bio. All right? If you guys want to get into the Discord, links are in the bio. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys. I know you're so... Oh my God. How close are we? 'Cause I can't even see the numbers. Okay, you're there. All right. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Okay? I love you guys so much. Bye.
Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning